is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
Well, stunning is the word most used today to describe last night's out-of-nowhere, come-from-behind win against the A's. And while it may have been stunning, it's not surprising for this team. It was their league-high tying 20th comeback win. Today, it's Colby Lewis on the mound. And if his performance this season is any indication, your Rangers shouldn't need a comeback win. From Oakland, California, the Rangers look to take 3 of 4 from the A's next. Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT&T High-Speed Internet. Well, a beautiful, clear afternoon, just a couple of puffy white clouds floating by in the distance here at Oakland Coliseum, where this afternoon your Rangers look to make an 8th consecutive series win as they take on the Oakland A's. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Graves, Steve Busby. Glad you could join us on this Thursday afternoon for Rangers baseball. Rangers playing very, very good. They are 4-2 on this road trip, looking for more here this afternoon. And they send their top pitcher right now as a starter out to the mound. That's Colby Lewis.
Just about everything's going Colby Lewis's way right now. He's coming off his best start of the season, 8 innings, 1 run against Seattle. He's pitched extremely well on the road this year. His ERA for the season on the road is under 2. He's also pitched very well against the A's. He's pitched very well in 15 games at the Oakland Coliseum. In fact, in those 15 games, he's 8-2 with a 2.79 ERA. Last year against the A's, he was undefeated. His ERA was 1.64. Everything's going Colby Lewis's way right now, and it should, because he's pitching great, he feels great, he's healthy, he's off to the best start of his career, and hopefully he'll be able to keep it going.
Well, the resurgent Colby Lewis going against one of his former teams. Takes on the A's along with his Ranger teammates. Rangers look to make it 3 out of 4 against these Oakland A's, and we'll see how that works out this afternoon. Adrian Beltre back at third base, the hot corner for the Rangers. We'll have the lineups in the first pitch right after this. West is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals and see why Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T high-speed internet. Get a deal worth talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT&T. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. A great shot across the bay to the city of San Francisco. We're on the East Bay, and Rangers and A's getting set to finish up this 4-game series before we get underway. Let's check in with John Radigan.
Yeah, Buzz, there's a wise old saying that states discretion is the better part of valor. That may be the mantra for Adrian Beltre today. He bravely takes the field even though he's not 100%, so he must be discreet in his approach.
Just trying to be more careful. I'm more careful trying to get an extra base and, not try to hustle every play until I fully feel like I can let it go.
NAB says he doesn't think he'll have any problem remembering that if he gets a hit and if he has to run the bases. But ironically, with this huge foul ground over there on the other side of the field as well, he feels like maybe then instinct will kick in. He won't remember to temper it just a little bit when running after a foul pop-up. Guys, let's get it back up to you.
All right, John, thank you. Yeah, that's interesting, and that certainly comes into play quite a bit here in the Coliseum. Well, we'll see how that plays out. Tom right now is going to tell you about the Southwest Airlines Rangers batting order.
Well, Rugi's moving all over the lineup. He's going to lead off today at second base. Ian Desmond stays in his customary spot. He'll bat second. Nomar Mazara is third. Adrian Beltre back in the lineup as the cleanup hitter, followed by the first baseman today, Prince Fielder. Ryan Rua is in right field. Mitch Moreland will DH. Elvis Andrus is a shortstop. And getting the start behind the plate is Bobby Wilson.
And that lineup facing the 23-year-old right-hander. That would be Daniel Mingden. He's out of Houston. He is a hard-throwing right-hander. Made his major league debut last time out against Cincinnati. Came away with a loss in that particular ball game, but very unusual kind of windup, as you can see in the first pitch to Rougned Odor is grounded out to shortstop. So one pitch and one away here this afternoon. But Mingden, the 4 basic pitches, he will change speeds pretty effectively. He's not overpowering from the standpoint of just sheer velocity, but watching him warm up, his fastball moves all over the place. He's got a pretty good tight slider and a good changeup. So he can present a problem, especially the first time you have seen him, which is what the case for the Rangers is going to be. No, one gone, and here's Ian Desmond stepping in, hitting at .310. Desmond on a tear as far as multi-hit games. Had another one last night. Being second in the American League in that category. Desmond's 2-hit night last night gave him 28 multi-hit efforts. 1 ball, no strikes. 69 degrees at game time. We started at 12:37 in the afternoon, Pacific Daylight Time. Not a lot of breeze, as usual, but kind of swirling around here in the Coliseum. Wide open bowl of baseball fun that's been here since 1968. Actually, the Coliseum was built in '66. A's came here in '68. The edifice in center field that they lovingly call Mount Davis, erected for football. Al Davis, the late owner of the Oakland Raiders, decided that they needed some football-centric seating, and they got it. That pitch is high, and Desmond now with the advantage in the count at 3 balls and a strike. So Ian trying to get aboard here with 1 out. Nomar Mazara, the Ranger right fielder today, is in the on-deck circle. Way outside, ball 4. Mingden has his first base runner with the base on balls.
That's very interesting to watch this kid pitch. He's a little bit unorthodox, kind of an old-fashioned delivery. Got a great mustache, I'll tell you that, though.
A's defense this afternoon with Crisp in left field, Burns in center, and Muncy in right. Max, the Keller product. Yonder Alonso and Jed Lowry on the right side of the diamond. Marcus Semien and Danny Valencia on the left. And Stephen Vogt behind the plate here this afternoon, catching for Daniel Mingden. Mingden out of Texas A&M, where he pitched his college baseball. And for the Aggies, and he throws strike one to Nomar Mazara. Mazara struggling of late. Nomar, an 0 for 16 slide at the moment. He has seen his batting average drop some 20 points down to its present 302 mark. 0-2. Mazara, 10 home runs and 28 driven in. There's that number we were talking about. Also 5 punch-outs, which there was no indication earlier on, I should say, that Nomar Mazara was going to be a high strikeout guy. He still probably isn't going to be, but just in one of those streaks where his timing is not quite as good as it was. The exaggerated stretch position for Mingden. Desmond going. Vogt hesitated a second, still was able to get him with a good throw. So Desmond shot down 2-6 on the putout.
Yeah, nice throw by Vogt. Pitch is high. He has to reach very high to his left, but he throws a bullet and a strike right on the bag to get Ian sliding in. Here's another look at it. Very nicely done.
No, base is empty, 2 away, and the 1-2 pitch is laced foul down the left side. The ball boy down there that's charged with protecting the bullpen members kind of fell down on his job that time.
Yeah, no high fives on that side today.
No. Chopper over the mound. And Semien on to first base. That'll do it. Now the Rangers get a walk with the caught stealing, removed Desmond. 3 up and 3 down as it turns out. After a half inning of play, Rangers nothing. A's coming up. Top of the first, Tom's going to tell you about the A's lineup here today.
Coco Crisp is the left fielder, and he'll lead off. Jed Lowry will bat second. Stephen Vogt saw his great throw to gun down Ian at second base. He's batting third. Danny Valencia has been very hot. He's the third baseman batting fourth. Chris Davis will DH today. Yonder Alonso moves up to the 6th spot at first base. Marcus Semien is the shortstop. Max Muncy will bat 8th in right field, and Billy Burns is the center fielder, and he'll hit 9th.
And that lineup put forth by Bob Melvin facing Colby Lewis, the 36-year-old right-hander. Colby making his 14th start of the year. And that perfect 5-0 mark, the ERA dropping precipitously. It's down to an even 3. League hitting just .236 against Colby. 1 ball and 1 strike to Coco Crisp. Crisp, a .227 average overall, the switch hitting outfielder, 5 home runs and 22 RBI. Little excuse me roller out to short. And Elvis guns him down, 1 away.
Colby's coming off probably his best start of the year against Seattle. He went 8 innings, only gave up 3 hits. One of them was a home run. Only took 88 pitches to get through 8 innings. Unfortunately, he got a no decision. The Rangers would win in extra innings. But he pitched an exceptionally good game. Mentioned in the open, 6 road starts. He's 3-0. He has an ERA under 2. And he's pitched well in this park. He's pitched well against the A's. A lot of things going in his direction for this start.
Jed Lowry takes a strike. Lowry, one of the few A's that has really gotten to Colby. He's 9 for 26. That's a .346 average. Has 1 home run. Won the count. And we'll take a look at the best ERAs in the American League on the road this year. Colby Lewis right there at the top. 1.35, just ahead of Tanaka of the Yankees. 2-1 to Lowry.
You mentioned, Buzz, that Colby's ERA is down to 3. That's the 7th best ERA in the American League.
Yeah, Colby, and that's not a statistic that Colby traditionally had been real strong in. I mean, you know, you have an ERA that was just about average. He would win more ball games than average, but it wasn't by shutting people out all the time.
Right.
But this year, well, he has really gotten everything back together. To me, a much more complete pitcher this year than he has been in the last several because of the good health.
Yep, and it's not a coincidence, I don't think, because of the health, because of the exercise routine. Much has been made out of riding the bike in the off-season, losing weight. Wasn't able to do those things with all the injuries that he had.
Right.
Now he's healthy, and now he can do those things.
Yeah. And speaking along those lines, our Kubota Power Stats this afternoon. Colby Lewis, the American League ranks going back to May 1st in the last 6 weeks. 2nd in on-base percentage, 4th in strikeout to walk ratio, 6th in opponent's batting average. Right on down the line, and he's going to add a strikeout to that as Jed Lowry frozen at home plate like a DiGiorno pizza.
Afraid, Jed, that's going to be a strike all day long.
Now 2 outs. Let's take a quick look at the Ranger defense. It's delivered to you this afternoon by DeMontron RV. Ryan Rua, another start in left field this afternoon. Desmond in center. Mazzara in right. Prince Fielder, the start at first base. Rougned Odor and Elvis Andrus up the middle. Adrian Beltre back in the lineup. Good to see AB in there at third base. And Bobby Wilson catching in this afternoon game. Stephen Vogt takes strike 1. Vogt, a .275 average, 5 home runs, 16 driven in. We have not seen him as of yet in the series, primarily because of all the left-handers the Rangers were running out there. Vogt used primarily from the right side, or against right-handers, I should say. He and Josh Fagley kind of tag teaming on the catching assignments. 2 balls and a strike. Now 2-2. Vogt has not been able to solve Colby Lewis very often. Just 1 for 16. And another foul ball. Well, we talk about Colby, all the league statistics. He's also 6th lowest in the number of pitches per inning, less than 15 pitches per inning worked, 14.8 to be exact. Jerked foul down the right side. Still 2-2. Elvis getting a few swings in there at shortstop. And another foul ball by Vogt. Now Stephen Vogt running Colby's pitch count up just a bit here in the first inning. Rangers have won the last 2 against the A's. Come from behind fashion last night, trailing 5-0 going into the 6th inning. They exploded for 5, then added on a couple more. Another foul ball. With that win last night, the Rangers now have won 6 of the last 10 and 7 of the last 12, dating back to last year against Oakland. Athletics, last place in the AL West. They are trailing the Rangers by 13.5 games. Full count.
That's what you get for fouling off all those pitches.
That's right. Stephen Vogt, the number 3 hitter, trying to extend this first inning. Danny Valencia will follow. Payoff pitch on the way. Ryan Rua waiting for that to come down out of the blue sky up above. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Colby Lewis. A's gone in order. We have finished one in Oakland. Rangers nothing, A's nothing. Participating in the Home Run Challenge to benefit prostate cancer research. And after 3 days of the challenge, $1,260,000 has been raised. And you can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. Rangers come to bat here in the top of the 2nd inning. Scoreless ball game. Adrian Beltre, Prince Fielder, and Ryan Rua. Good to see Adrian back here after missing 7 ball games. Takes that breaking ball for strike 1. Beltre, when he went down with the injury a week ago yesterday, had a streak of 151 consecutive games played. That was the 4th longest active streak going, and he singles in his first at bat here. So it's just like he never took any time off.
Hey, you look at that pitch and wonder how he hit it. Looked like it was about an inch off the ground. Just golfed it into left field for a base hit. Never seen the pitcher before.
Yeah, down about ankle high.
Inside and low. That's a pitch a pitcher doesn't expect to give up a base hit on.
No.
You hope the guy swings at it.
And you heard Adrian say he's going to be a little circumspect on how much he pushes that hamstring in the first few ball games. Make sure he checks it out well and does all his stretching well. The leadoff single has him aboard. Prince Fielder getting the start at first base. Rangers, of course, go from here to St. Louis and won't be using the DH for 3 days. You'll probably see Prince at first base a couple of times. 1 ball and no strikes. Fielder 6 out of 22 on this road trip. This is the 7th game of the trip. That's a 273 average. He's driven in 3. Well, slowly but surely getting his game back in order. 5 home runs for the year and 33 RBI. 2 balls, no strikes. Talking to some of the A's personnel, and Daniel Mingden, the one drawback might be the inconsistency so far, typical of a young pitcher. And Mingden can get into roles where his command of the strike zone is a little lacking, but that is to be expected. Didn't have that problem in the minor leagues. Fires a strike there. So you know that eventually at the big league level, that'll come into play where his command will settle back in and he'll do what he typically has done. That's walk about 3 per 9 innings on average. 2-1 to Fielder. Now 3-1.
Now, Mingden got to the big leagues quickly. He only had a total of about 200 minor league innings, a little over 200 minor league innings. Had never pitched above A ball before this year. A's got him in a trade for Scott Kazmir.
Fly ball center field. That pushes Burns back. He has room right in front of the track and makes the catch. Beltre back to first. There's one long out off the bat of Prince Fielder. Prince has hit a couple balls like that in this series. Straight away center field and right about to the warning track. No, 1 away. Here's Ryan Rua. Rua getting a start this afternoon, even though it's a right-hander. And Jeff Bannister has said, hey, Ryan Rua has earned the right to start against left-handers and right-handers. It's not a case of Rua not deserving to be in there, but with Shin-Soo Choo coming back in, you only could use 3 outfielders. And Ryan was the one that had last night off. Takes a strike here. And our TXU Energy power player to watch would be Ryan Rua. Since May 22nd, we're going on nearly a month now, 19 ball games. He's hit .370 with 4 home runs. He's scored 15 runs and driven in a dozen. 0-2 in this at bat.
Yeah, what it'll do is, as the season goes on, instead of having to play the regular guys every single day, you've got another regular guy right here, and it should be able to keep everybody fresh as you come down the stretch late in the season.
1-2.
Ryan's had more RBIs and more runs on this trip than any other Ranger. Having a good solid trip. Nice on base percentage for the season too.
Would Jurickson and Profar kind of fall into that category too? Of being able to.
Yeah, you've got guys that you're very happy with them if they're playing every day. All the more reason to be able to give any infielder and any outfielder a rest anytime you want and not feel like you're having to take a step back.
Rua down swinging at that high fastball from Daniel Mingden.
Yeah, Mingden gave him some tough pitches in that at bat. He threw him his slider, a good slow curveball, and then the high fastball.
2 away. Beltre still at first. Here's Mitch Moreland. Mitch handling the DH chores here this afternoon. This is the 3rd game this year that Mitch has started at DH. Moreland a .227 average. 1 ball and no strike. Mitch bringing that 7-game hitting streak in. As you can see those numbers. 4 home runs over those 7 games, a .370 average, and 6 RBI. Off speed, Mitch able to check his swing, 2-0. And of course, Mitch in this ballpark, no day at the beach for any A's pitcher. He has hit safely in 14 of the last 16 against Oakland, and 11 home runs, 24 RBI in this ballpark. There's the highest totals of any park away from Globe Life. Two and time call. Beltre not being held closely at first base. Ripped to right. Snagged by Lowry in straightaway right field. Throws out Moreland. Mitch hit it right on the button, but came up empty. No runs, a hit, one left for the Rangers. After 1.5, Rangers nothing, A's nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals and see why Ford is the best in Texas. Now, Danny Valencia starting off the A's second inning against Colby Lewis. Middle third of the batting order, and Valencia takes ball one. Danny Valencia, .333 average. He has 10 home runs and 26 driven in. Good slider. 1 ball and 1 strike. Colby Lewis, 22 pitches into this ball game, 14 strikes, 8 balls. Foul back. Advantage Lewis at 1-2. Valencia, over the years, 4 for 12 against Colby. Here are the numbers we were just discussing. .376 on base percentage, so you know that Valencia will take the walk too. A couple of good fastballs right in on the fist.
I think when you talk about Colby being healthier this year, in the best shape he's been in, his fastball velocity has probably a tick or two better than it's ever been. He's, frequently is around 89 or 90. Good slider after that 90-mile-an-hour fastball. I think last year, maybe the year before, he would settle in at 86 to 88. Now it's more often 87 to 90.
And with that little bit extra, Tom, too, I think he has more confidence in his ability to execute the fastball inside. He doesn't hesitate. It looked before like he might just back off it a little bit. He was concerned about it. And this year, there's no hesitation whatsoever. He threw 2 very good fastballs in on the fist of Valencia, and that set up that good slider. Got the strikeout. Oh, 1 away. Colby now with a couple of strikeouts. Chris Davis handling the DH chores today. Davis, the team leader with 15 home runs, 44 driven in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Last 5 ball games, Chris Davis en fuego. He has been on fire. That .389 average. Of course, against the Rangers, boy, he sees them come into town. His bats start jumping in the rack. Davis 9 for 21 with 9 runs scored, 5 home runs, and 15 RBI in 6 games against the Rangers this year. towering pop-up on the infield. A high sky and a high pop. Elvis backpedaling makes the catch. 2 gone. Elvis and Ian Desmond exchanging some information back there. I'm sure that Ian Desmond starting in center field for the first time in this ballpark this series. Trying to get used to the surroundings, what the sky looks like. Day game, tough here. We've talked about that in the past. Well, Ian trying to gather all the information he can. Yonder Alonso, the first baseman, left-handed hitter, takes ball 1.
And one good thing for a center fielder, Elvis is very good on pop-up, so he can go back and catch just about anything he can get to. Can't see it, and it's not hit very far. You can count on Elvis to catch it.
2-0 pitch. Foul back just to our left. Had the right distance, missed us by about 15 feet.
Yeah, those guys are awful brave trying to catch that ball with plexiglass in front of them. 3 people jumping up trying to catch that ball. Take that glass away, they'd be diving for cover.
2-2 now. There's the glass. Colby to the wind, the 2-2 to Alonso. That'll run the count full. That thing coming back just to our left. Yeah, you're right. There were 3 guys jumped up after that. And then they jumped back for fear it might hit the open spot. Payoff pitch on the way. Another towering pop-up. Odor and Fielder. Prince Fielder seeding way to Rugnet, who makes a 2-handed catch, and that'll do it. So punch out and a couple of pop-ups. A 1-2-3 frame for Colby. We have finished 2 in Oakland. No score on Fox Sports Southwest. Tuesdays. Tickets for the Reds-Rangers game that night are just $10, and you can add on a $10 meal deal if you're purchasing it online. Plus, all fans on Tuesdays get $10 parking. Visit TexasRangers.com/specials to secure your $10 Tuesday tickets for June 21st. Now the Rangers come to bat here in the top of the 3rd inning. Elvis leading things off. And Daniel Mingden bends a breaking ball in for strike 1. Elvis, a .288 average for the year. He's had a very good road trip. He's gone 9 for 25. That's a .360 mark. Fly to third, but Valencia cuts it off. One gone. Elvis retired. Bobby Wilson coming up. Before we tell you about Bobby, we're going to send it back to Dana Larson for a Chevy game break.
Batting ninth, catcher, number 6, Bobby Wilson.
All right, Dana, thank you. Yeah, how about that? 10 home runs. He had. We were talking about that the other day. Had not had another extra base hit.
I'm assuming he doesn't have a triple either.
Bobby, a chopper down the third baseline that kicks off into foul territory. No balls and 2 strikes. Saw the numbers for Bobby, a .288 average as a Ranger, .269 overall. 4 for his last 15 times to the plate. That's after being hitless in his previous 14 at-bats. Bobby, the owner of 2 Grand Slam home runs this year. 1 and 2. Mington to that wind. And Wilson popped it out in the shallow right field. Long run in for Muncy, and Max Muncy grabs it for out number 2.
Mington in his roughly 200 minor league innings has averaged a strikeout per inning. As a college pitcher, an accomplished college pitcher, it didn't take a lot of innings for him to be ready to pitch in the big leagues. But he was pitching extremely well this year in AA and AAA. He had a 1.19 ERA in 11 starts.
Yeah, the A's let him go ahead and advance as quickly as they thought possible. Had 1 month at AA and 1 month at AAA, and here you are, starting in Cincinnati in your big league debut.
Well, they had the need. They had injuries at the major league level. They needed minor league pitchers. Might have given him more time without that need, but with the opportunity, they felt he was ready to come up and compete, and it looks like they're right.
Now, Stephen Vogt having a fairly long discussion with Toby Bassner, the home plate umpire. Vogt saying, I believe that, hey, Mington was already started his windup when you gave Odor timeout. One ball, 1 strike to Rugnet, a .333 average over the last few ball games. Had his first 2-homer game last night. He and Robinson Chirinos, and that, according to Elias Sports Bureau, the first time that 2 natives of Venezuela had multi-home run games in the same game, whether they were teammates or not. It's quite an accomplishment, and Rugnet and Robinson Chirinos very happy to have that notoriety. Now the 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Odor down on strikes. Mington has a 1-2-3 third after 2.5. Rangers nothing, A's nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. savings again this year at Globe Life Park. Just bring a Dr. Pepper can to the box office, or you can use the online coupon code Dr. Pepper and receive savings of up to 29% on most Sunday through Thursday games. Visit TexasRangers.com/specials to get your tickets for June 21st and 22nd. Rangers will be having the Cincinnati Reds into town for a little interleague play. Now Colby Lewis back to the hill, bottom third of the order. Marcus Semien leading things off. The appeal down to first, and John Hirschbeck very emphatically said yes, he swung.
That was a pretty good pitch anyway. Looked like it could have been a borderline strike right in the low outside part of the strike zone.
Colby's 0-2. High in the air, fairly deep left center field. Rua and Desmond. Ian Desmond making the call on the catch for out number 1.
Yeah, one thing Ian's becoming very confident in is taking charge in center field. Nothing tentative about the way he's learning to play center field. If he can get to it, he's running over, taking charge, and calling for it.
And I would assume you'd rather have a guy that does that and have him tone it down a little bit than going the other way and trying to teach him to be more assertive.
No, I love my center fielder to be as aggressive as he can be, just exactly the way he's playing.
Max Muncy taking strike 1. Muncy from Keller, Texas. 200 average. Max just called up here recently, takes outside. Muncy came up for the second time this last Friday. Out of play, and the count moves to 1-2. AAA this year, Muncy hit .263. 7 home runs, as you can see, and 20 driven in for Nashville. Deep into the right field corner, Mazzara back right in front of the wall, and he makes the catch. That gets fairly short down there in a hurry. And Muncy, with a bid for extra bases or even a home run, came up a little bit short.
Yeah, Coco Crisp grounded out to shortstop. Since then, there's been a couple of strikeouts, and everything else has been hit in the air. Just got underneath that one a little bit, fortunately.
2 away. Here's Billy Burns batting in the number 9 slot. The fly balls, keeping tabs of those this year, and Colby Lewis third most in the American League. Burns a .252 average as he stands at the plate. He has had at least one hit in each of his last 2 ball games. He's 4 for 11 in this series against the Rangers. Down to the count here, 0-2. One ball and 2 strikes. Again, Colby coming inside with authority. Three of those 4 hits have gone for 2 bases. Lofted it into center, and right there, Ian Desmond. That'll do it. So 3 fly balls, 3 outs. Another 1-2-3 inning, and after 3 in Oakland, Rangers nothing, A's nothing. Now let's take a look at this afternoon's greater coverage of baseball, sponsored by T-Mobile. Take you around the American League. First of all, in the Eastern Division, Baltimore and Boston now tied for the division lead. They just finished their three-game series. Or they do finish their three-game series tonight in Boston. Baltimore leading with 102 home runs for the year, most in baseball. Central Division, Kansas City and Cleveland going back and forth. Royals just swept the Cleveland Indians. Royals have won 9 ball games in a row at home. Ian Desmond leading things off here in the Ranger Four. There's the rest of that information. Boston 260 extra base hits this year. That leads the major leagues. Here's the Royals against the Indians, now tied in the Central Division. Central Division has kind of gone back and forth. Matter of fact, the Eastern has too, between the Orioles and the Red Sox. Keep knocking each other off at the top spot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ian drew a walk back in the first inning, was caught stealing, just his second caught stealing in 14 attempts this year. Banged into that unorthodox windup, and a bullet to center, but it's right at Billy Burns. Desmond can't hit it much harder than that.
Nope, he can't.
Lines out.
They were playing him straight away, had him positioned pretty well too.
Now batting.
Good fastball to hit. And Burns in center field was right there waiting for it.
No, that's 6 straight now, sent down by Daniel Mengden. Brings up Nomar Mazara, who grounded a short back in the first inning.
No.
Backdoor cutter or slider for strike 1. Mazara's average now down at an even 300. 0-2.
Mengden's got a good assortment of pitches. Got a fastball. His delivery has to take some getting used to. You don't generally see many guys in the big leagues with this kind of a full windup.
Hard hit on one sharp bounce out to Semien. 2 gone.
But he's got a good slider. Seen some really nice curveballs and a pretty good changeup too. So he's got all the pitches. Pretty good idea how to pitch.
Guy that has an unusual windup like that, does it take a hitter a couple of times seeing him
Probably,
to
yeah.
ignore it?
You just don't see many guys that take a full windup anymore. Most guys start with their hands at their belt and go from the no windup. Yeah, but I think what you have to do is don't pay any attention to this, because until he gets right there, it doesn't really matter.
Reminiscent a little bit of Ross Ohlendorf and the full windup that the Ross employs.
He's got a little bit of the Japanese style herky-jerky move at the top of the delivery too.
Beltre, a 1-hopper cut off by Valencia. Across the diamond in the dirt, but dug out by Alonso. So 3 up, 3 down. That's now 8 straight sent down by Mengden and the A's. After 3.5, we are still scoreless in Oakland. packages offer first-class hotel accommodations, great game tickets, a private meet and greet with a current Ranger player, a VIP ballpark tour, and a lot more. This season includes trips to Boston and Denver coming up. Visit TexasRangers.com/destinations for information and to book your trip. Top of the A's order, and Coco Crisp, one of those towering pop fouls. And that's the one that Adrian Beltre was talking about. You kind of saw Beltre coasting over there. He let Elvis take it. That was high enough up there that Elvis could get there in plenty of time.
Now, all you have to do is tell Elvis, I might need some help, and he'll go get those pop-ups. The only one that gives him, it gives a lot of guys problems, are the little ones where your back's to the plate and you're running, sprinting out towards center field. But going left, going right, with time to go out deep towards center field, he'll get out there and catch those balls. It's a kind of comforting feeling for Adrian, I think, to have Elvis behind him to make those plays. Yeah.
Hey, Elvis has just about as much range as anybody I can think of in recent memory going after pop-ups.
Yeah. My all-timer is Omar Vizquel. He could go out and catch one straight away left field if he had to. But Elvis is very good at it too.
Jed Lowry, the hitter. Colby pumped in strike one. Lowry called out on strikes. Caught looking at a 3-2 pitch his first time up.
And I've mentioned this before too, and it's not a secret. Surprisingly, the guy that had a lot of problems on pop-ups was Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah.
As great a player and athlete as he was, when that ball went up, he looked like he was hoping the center fielder was going to come in and catch it.
And of course, you think back when Elvis came to the big leagues in 2009, and Omar Vizquel was on the ball club.
Yeah.
Kind of a mentor for Elvis. Not a bad guy to have teach you the ropes.
Guess not.
Lowry has been hot the last 3 ball games, 385.
Especially both of them being Venezuelans. Sure, Elvis grew up, I don't know if he idolized Omar, but probably looked up to him for a long time.
Two and two to Jed Lowry, switch hitting second baseman. Steele pitch tracker, keep an eye on location. There is a swinging strike 3. Colby rings up his 3rd strikeout. Second time he's gotten Lowry. 2 gone, and it'll bring up Stephen Vogt.
That's a good break of ball. Right exactly where he wanted it.
Yep.
Curveball breaking straight down.
Colby's got it going pretty well today.
You know, in it by itself, we're talking about his fastball having a couple of ticks more right now than it maybe had the last couple of years, and you've said this before too. Along with that is a little sharper slider, a little sharper curveball too.
Yep. Be able to finish it off and put the extra spin on the ball, makes it a later break. 3 up, 3 down after 4, no score. is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Mazda. In every car we make, you'll see why driving matters. A beautiful shot over toward the Bay Bridge and up in the North Bay. Yeah, lady is all decked out in her patriotic finery. Well, Prince Fielder starting things off for the Rangers here in the 5th inning. Scoreless ball game. Prince takes ball one. One hit is all there has been in this game. Adrian Beltre, a leadoff single in the 2nd inning. Prince Fielder fly to deep center his first time up. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now Daniel Mengden, 48 pitches as he works here in the 5th inning. 30 strikes, 18 balls. Good breaking ball there.
He's got a good idea what he's doing out there. He can really mix his pitches up well. Got the slow curveball and a sneaky fastball with good movement on it. He doesn't move around on the mound very much either. He's got that stance looking at the catcher and he's ready to go.
2 hopper to Valencia at 3rd. 1 gone. Next will be Ryan Rua. And speaking of Ryan Rua, come on out and meet your favorite Ranger outfielder, Ryan Rua, and Rangers captain. They'll be at the Whataburger on Northwest Highway in Dallas on June 22nd. Be there about 10:30 in the morning. You don't want to miss this chance to win great prizes and to meet one of your favorite Rangers at Whataburger. Just visit TexasRangers.com/appearances for more information. Rua went down swinging the first time that he faced the young right-hander. Mengden bends in strike 1. Rua, 298 season average. Nothing into the count. Rua on this trip now, 6 out of 18. Has a 3-game hitting streak on the line here today. Five hits in his last 11 at bats, 2 of those being home runs. Pitch up high, the check swing, and the appeal down to John Hirschbeck. Said nope, no swing. 1-2. Mengden back to the plate. That will even the count. For Rua, this is 38th start of the year. Rangers playing their 67th ball game of 2016. And a full count. So Ryan trying to get aboard with 1 out here in the 5th inning. Mitch Moreland, the Ranger DH, is next. Here's Mitch. Rangers with their best record after 66 games in franchise history. And Rua caught looking at that fastball that just caught the outside corner. Mengden pinpoint with that heater.
Well, the catcher caught it. It looked like it was outside.
Number 18.
And because he had he had his glove on the inside part of the plate. But the fact that he had to reach out that far didn't make it a ball. He just had to readjust to where the pitch went, but it was inside the strike zone.
3rd strikeout for Mengden. He has now retired the last 10 Rangers that he has faced. And Mitch Moreland will step in with the bases empty and 2 outs. Make that 11 straight. Moreland, a ground ball to second. Hit the ball sharply, but right into the overshift. Hayes again shifted way around to the right with Semien, the shortstop, 4 or 5 steps on the first base side of second base, and way out there in right field playing that rover position, Jed Lowry. 1-2. Tried the changeup, just missed away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Their Steele pitch tracker, Tony Mingden, trying to live right down at the bottom of the zone and right to the outside part of the plate for most of his pitches. The breaking ball, and Mitch able to get a piece of that and keep the count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Got him swinging. Fastball down, and Mingden strikes out 2 in the inning. Another 1-2-3 frame. He has retired 12 straight. Halfway through the ball game, we are still scoreless in Oakland. June 24th, and that night the first 20,000 fans at Globe Life Park will receive a pair of Major League glasses courtesy of Papa John's. And you can stick around after the game for a baseball movie themed fireworks show. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS. Well, Danny Valencia leading things off, and he hits a little looper out behind second, but that's an easy play for Rougned Odor.
He's working Valencia over pretty good today.
Well, 1 out here in the 5th, and before Chris Davis steps in, let's send it back to Dana Larson for a Chevy game break. All right, Danny, thank you. The Braves suddenly playing pretty good baseball. Chris Davis takes ball 1. Davis a pop out, his first time to the plate. Colby drops in the breaking ball. 1-1. Chris Davis 4 out of 13 now in this series. And a sky-high pop-up, shallow center field. Rougned backpedaling, calling everybody off. That is out number 2. So again, ball's in the air. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
There hasn't been a ground ball since the first batter of the game.
Yeah, that's 10 outs in the air. Colby's had 3 strikeouts and that 1 ground out. Yonder Alonso takes strike 1. But Colby is really dealing right now. 59 pitches, 41 strikes, only 18 balls. Alonso 2 for 13 in the series, getting the start virtually every day at first base. Hard hit to center, to his right, Ian Desmond. And it's another 1-2-3 inning. Colby has worked through 5, and he has kept the A's off the scoreboard. After 5, no score. Now for the Sonic Slam inning, brought to you by Sonic. Today's jackpot is worth $100 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. If a Ranger hits a home run during this inning, Ruby McPhail from Corsicana will win $100. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam in this inning, Ruby is going to take home $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Elvis Andrus starting things off. He'll be followed by Bobby Wilson, then back to the top of the order for Rougned Odor. Daniel Mingden pumps in strike 1, and talk about Colby dealing. Mingden's been dealing too. He has retired 12 straight. Elvis had a ground ball to third his first time up there. One ball and 1 strike. Elvis with hits in 4 of his last 5 ball games. He's gone 9 for 21. Down on the count here, though, a ball and 2 strikes. Elvis has seen his batting average jump from 274 up to its present 287 over those 5 games. 2-2. Daniel Mingden, the 23-year-old, goes to that unorthodox windup and gets Elvis swinging. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Mingden, 5 on the afternoon.
Yeah, his fastball has gotten as high as 94. One I saw was 95 on the scoreboard. So when you combine that with the off-speed pitches that he's throwing, the changeup and the slow curveball, he looks really good. Gotta be happy with that acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to keep Scott Kazmir anyway.
Bobby Wilson, a fly ball to right. Fouls back that first pitch, 0-1. Season numbers for Bobby Wilson, those are with the Rangers, 284. 3 home runs, 14 RBI. 0-2. Mingden coming back to the plate. Got him swinging. 4 straight strikeouts.
Yeah, both these guys are dealing pretty nice right now. Not much in the way of base runners in this game.
No.
That particular time, Mingden just reared back and threw his fastball. 93, 94 miles an hour. Got the strikeout. 1 walk, 5 strikeouts.
And a grand total of 2 base runners in the contest. Ian Desmond in the first, Adrian Beltre in the second. And Odor up there hacking, fouls that first pitch off. Rugnet has grounded to short and struck out, and he's going to have to limp around here for a second. That last one got him pretty solidly. Now Kevin Harmon, the Ranger athletic trainer, coming out there to check on Rugnet. Pointing down to his right shin, or maybe upper part of his foot that isn't covered. Looked like he got the pad, but that doesn't always tell you that that's not going to hurt. That pad can only absorb so much. No, Odor gingerly back into the box. No balls and a strike to him. Big slow breaking ball makes it 0-2. Had a long look out to Mingden. For leaderboard in June, Rangers' second most home runs in the game. That ball pulled weakly foul. Rudnett with a new bat. Major League Baseball, only the Orioles have hit more home runs in the month of June than the Rangers. Orioles with 33, Rangers 27. And the Rangers on this road trip, now this is just the 7th game of the trip, 17 home runs. Another 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Mingden, 5 straight strikeouts. He sends the Rangers down in order, all swinging third strikes. After 5.5, Rangers 0, A's 0 on Fox Sports Southwest. Sunday, June 26th. Red Sox are in town, but it's also Bluebell Ice Cream Sunday. That's when ice cream is just $1 for youngsters 13 and under. Come on out and watch the Rangers take on the powerful Boston Red Sox. Get your tickets for June 26th at TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS. Marcus Semien rolling a ground ball. Yeah, ground ball out to Elvis. It's the second one of the afternoon, and that's one out here in the 6th inning.
Kobe threw 20 pitches in the 1st inning, nothing close to that since then.
Up to 63 now for Colby. And Max Muncy will step in.
Only reason he had 20 in the 1st inning was Stephen Vogt had about an 8 or 9 pitch at bat.
That's right.
Before he popped up to left field.
Here's strike one. It's 45 strikes now and just 19 balls. Yeah, Vogt had a long at bat. Lowry had a 3-2 count before he struck out. Other than that, it's been pretty straightforward. But down Colby on to first, and Fielder reaching across his right leg to make the grab. Max Muncy trying to get aboard to become the first A to reach base.
Just got a little bit too much back to the mound. Colby was able to make the play on it.
Two up, two away. Billy Burns now. Burns had a fly ball to center back in the 3rd inning. You have to ask Colby after the game how he felt about that bunt attempt. Colby hasn't taken too kindly to the guys trying to bunt on him, especially in these circumstances. But we'll find out later on. It'll be a topic of conversation. Burns batting 9th, currently hitting at .251. Rangers with Beltre in front of the cut of the grass. 1-2 the count. Outfield, playing Burns relatively shallow and around to the left. Infield, in a couple of steps also. One hopper to Beltre. On to first, and that will do it. So Colby Lewis dealing here this afternoon. 3 up, 3 down. We have finished 6 innings at the Oakland Coliseum. No score between the Rangers and the A's. This afternoon's 4-game summary, and guess what? It's all centered around pitching. Colby Lewis has given up nothing to the A's. 3 strikeouts this afternoon for Colby. He's had that good, sharp breaking ball. And on the other side of the ledger, Daniel Mingden hasn't given up very much to the Rangers either. Exactly 1 walk and 1 base hit. That has been it. He's retired the last 15 that he has faced. Make that 7 strikeouts, 5 in a row. And he's back out there now to start the top of the 7th inning in a scoreless game. Here's Ian Desmond. Desmond drew a walk with 1 out in the 1st inning. Adrian Beltre singled leading off the 2nd, and that's been it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, he also has the hardest hit ball of the game. That was an out to center field.
Yeah.
The only hit in the ball game was Adrian's ground ball between short and third that was about 6 inches off the ground when he hit it and just rolled into the outfield.
2-1 the count. Desmond a .309 average facing Daniel Mingden. The Houstonian goes to the line. Hit well to right field. Way back into the corner. Goodbye.
That's what we're looking for.
Desmond going opposite field. His 10th home run of the year. The Rangers jump out in front 1-0.
Boy, he's just the definition of a line drive hitter. And his line drives go all over the field. I don't think that one was hit as hard as the one he hit to center field.
No, I agree.
That one was just hit to the right part of the ballpark, toward the line where it's only 330 feet. The only question would it be high enough to sneak over the top of the wall? And the answer was yes, it was.
Well, the ball, as we've talked about, carries much better during the day here at the Coliseum than it does at night. But this one didn't need any help at all.
High fastball, middle of the plate. And he didn't sneak that one by him.
No.
The Rangers now have 5 hitters with 10 or more home runs. Rougned Odor with 12 leading the pack. Desmond has 10. Mazzara has 10. Beltre has 10. Moreland has 10. That rocket just to the left of the 330 sign. Hard hit off of Alonso. That's going down the right field line. Well, that ball just ate Alonso up. Yeah, top spin round ball. And it's going to be scored an error on Yonder Alonso.
Tough error, but hard to disagree with it.
Yeah.
Hard hit ball, not an easy hop.
So after 6 innings of near perfection for Daniel Mingden, Rangers have come out here in the 7th inning and scalded a couple of baseballs. 1 on, still nobody out. Adrian Beltre, 1 out of 2, steps to the plate. Beltre lofts it high in the air, well out of play down the left side. 0-1. For Mingden, that was his 84th pitch of the afternoon, and he has gotten over 100 pitches in most of his starts, whether it be at the major leagues or the minor leagues. Had 104 in his major league debut against Cincinnati. Got him through 5 2/3. Beltre pops that one back and out of play. 0-2 now. Mingden in the last 3 starts that he had at AAA Nashville before being called up to the big leagues. Had 104 a couple of times and 103 in the other. Beltre waiting, Mazzara inching off the bag at first. Up the middle by Simeon into left center field. Mazzara will continue on to third. The throw in is not in time. And the Rangers with runners at the corners and nobody out. And that's going to be a base hit for Adrian Beltre, his 2nd of the afternoon.
Well, yesterday it was a home run that opened up the floodgates. Robinson Chirinos in the 6th inning after Sonny Gray had shut the Rangers down for 5 innings, got a hanging curveball, and that home run just ignited the Rangers to a 5-run inning and a 7-5 win. And maybe Ian's home run will do the same thing. An error and a base hit, 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Rangers trying to have a big inning. Certainly add to the 1-run lead with 1st and 3rd. Infield back. Double play grounder will score a run.
Here's Prince Fielder, who's flied to deep center and grounded to 3rd. Takes ball 1. Prince at 199 with the average. And again, he'll tell you that the average, although not where he would like it, certainly, but RBI, the most important statistic for him. And he's got a chance here to bring Mazzara home. 1 ball and 1 strike. Just hitting that home run just for a second. That's the 18th home run that the Rangers have had on this road trip. This game number 7. See Fielder better than 70% of the time able to bring that runner home from 3rd. 2-1. Prince with 33 RBI for the year. He went about a 35-game streak where he only had 5 or 6 RBI. Slow breaking ball hangs outside. 3-1 the count. The runners at 1st and 3rd, nobody out. A run across here for the Rangers. They have taken a 1-0 lead. Prince looking for more. He'll be followed in the order by Ryan Rua. Mengden, a belt high set. Chopper slowly hit to 2nd. They get Beltre. The throw back to 1st, not in time. In to score Mazzara. Prince Fielder on a fielder's choice grounder gets his 34th RBI of the year, and the Rangers lead it 2-0.
Well, it wasn't a hard hit ball. It was going to be a tough ball to turn. Prince is able to beat it out. That gets him an RBI. Keeps the Rangers out of the double play.
No, 1 gone now. Here's Rua, who has struck out both times that he has faced Mengden today. 0-1. Mengden set, a check of 1st. Chopper foul outside 3rd. And Rua now down on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, the Rangers took them a little while to zero in on Daniel Mengden. Not that they have just beaten his brains in here in this inning, but at least they've been able to get to him and get some runs on the board. The help of an error. 1-2. All started with Desmond's opposite field home run, his 10th of the year. The error allowed Mazzara to reach. Beltre singled. And then the fielder's choice ground out by Prince Fielder. Prince now at 1st base with 1 down. The 1-2 on the way. Inside it hit him. Rua just turning that front shoulder in and didn't go into the ball, but certainly didn't get out of the way too quickly.
Yeah, he recognized that it was a slow breaking ball, and if he can get on base with it, go for it.
That really is taking one for the team right there.
Yep, all he did is make sure it hit the pad on his left elbow. He had to be told it hit him. Might not even felt it hit him.
Well, 2 aboard with 1 out. Kurt Young, the pitching coach, out to have a quick chat with his battery. Stephen Vogt, the catcher, and Daniel Mingden. Ryan Dull is loosening, and it looks like he's ready in the A's bullpen if needed. Mingden now at 95 pitches, so he's approaching the apparent limit. Somewhere around 104, 105. Mitch Moreland, a ground out and a strikeout. He's got Fielder at second, Rua at first. A's go into a defensive overshift. Marcus Semien on the first base side of second. A little bit low for ball one. A good shot of the defensive alignment. Big hole, as you can see, at shortstop if Mitch can drive the ball that way. With a runner at second base, Danny Valencia has to stay a little bit closer to third than he normally would. Have to be able to get to the bag before Fielder got there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Mitch could hit a ground ball right to Prince. That'd be perfect. Mingden okays the sign. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-2.
2 well-located pitches, borderline whether they're strikes or not. Nice pitches from Mingden if you're going to get those called.
The way that Mingden has thrown this afternoon, you see a lot of hitters checking their swing. You know, like they're just caught in between a little bit.
Yeah, I think just good assortment of pitches. And first time they've seen him, too. But
right.
He's got a good assortment of types of pitches, speeds of pitches.
Slow breaking ball, and Mitch able to check his swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Next pitch for Daniel Mingden will be number 100 this afternoon. Good look at that shift, and there's the overlay of where Mitch hits the ball. 23%, right in the second base, first base hole. So better than 40% on that side of the diamond. That one's pulled into right field, a base hit. Fielder being held up at third. Muncy gets to the ball quickly, but Moreland, without the ability for the second baseman Lowry to go into the deep positioning of that shift, having to stay on the infield dirt, Mitch able to roll it through, and that's going to spell the end of the afternoon for Daniel Mingden. So he will leave with the bases loaded and 1 out after Moreland gets a base hit to right. So Mitch extends his hitting streak to 8 straight ball games, and Mingden gets a well-deserved round of applause from the Oakland faithful. So a pitching change underway. Rangers on top 2-0, looking for more. We'll be back right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. 16th U.S. Open Championship from historic Oakmont Country Club. Coverage begins at 9 a.m. on Fox Sports 1 and continues at 4 p.m. Central on your local Fox station. Or you can watch it all live on Fox Sports Go. And the leaderboard has been interrupted several times today by rain. Storms moving through the Pittsburgh area. Through 17, Andrew Landry with a one-shot lead over Bubba Watson and Danny Lee. Here, the Rangers have a 2-0 lead. Looking for more, Ryan Dahl, the new pitcher, facing Elvis Andrus. And Elvis now with a count of 1 ball and 1 strikes. Elvis has grounded to third and struck out. He's got fielder, Rua, and Moreland, third, second, and first. Infield all the way in. Ryan Dahl, his 30th appearance of the year, 1-1 with a 2.36 ERA. Ryan worked in the first game of this series. 26-year-old out of North Carolina, went to University of North Carolina, Asheville. Did his collegiate pitching there. Breaking ball just nudges the inside corner.
He's got a good breaking ball. Good slider, low 80 slider. He throws it a lot, throws it well. 161 opponent's batting average. He's been tough to hit.
Not a big guy, just 5'9". Elvis able to check his swing. That runs the count full. So no place for Dahl to put Elvis. You know, 1 out, the base is full of Ranger teammates for Andrus. Bobby Wilson, the Ranger catcher, in that on-deck circle. Mr. Grand Slam himself. Dahl with a payoff pitch. Got him swinging.
Trying to swing at the ball, but that's a nasty slider. He throws it one right after the other. Big strikeout. Bases loaded, 1 out. Hard to lay off it. Elvis laid off it on the 2-2 pitch. There's something about the 3-2 pitch. I think in the hitter's subconscious, you go bases loaded, he has to throw this for a strike. I'm going to be ready to hit it. And he threw it for a borderline pitch, but it would have been a ball. Very tough to lay off that pitch.
2 away. Here's Bobby Wilson. Tried to check his swing. It was a strike anyway. Bobby, a fly ball to right and a strikeout today, 0 for 2. Facing Ryan Dahl. Dahl was the 32nd round draft pick by the Oakland A's back in 2012. He is filling up the strike zone here.
Yeah, he's got plenty of fastball too. 91, 93 miles an hour. Sinking fastball to go with that slider. You see why opponents are hitting 160 against him. He's tough to hit.
Pop foul. That's backing out of play. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Prince Fielder down at third. He had an RBI on a fielder's choice. Ryan Rua out at second, and Mitch Moreland, who singled, over at first. 1-2 to Bobby Wilson. Rangers inning started with Ian Desmond going to right field for his 10th home run of the year. Opposite field shot. That kind of opened the gates for a little while against Daniel Mengden. 2-2. Dahl made his major league debut last year with the A's, worked in 13 ball games. Had 3 separate stops last year in the A's minor league system before getting to the big leagues. Bobby able just to get a piece of that fastball. Rangers at every base. 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Now Dahl comes in, strikes out Andrus and Wilson with the bases loaded. The Rangers are done in the 7th, but 2 runs on 3 hits, and they leave the bases full. We'll take the stretch here in Oakland, 2-0 Texas. Taking that 2-0 lead, and Colby Lewis back to the hill. Colby with a very clean scorebook so far. He goes to work against the top of the order, Coco Crisp, Jed Lowry, and Stephen Vogt. And Coco Crisp rolling one out to Rougned Odor for out number 1 on 1 pitch.
Yeah, Colby's getting a lot of quick outs.
70 total pitches for Colby this afternoon, 50 strikes and 20 balls. Jed Lowry, a little step to the plate, having struck out both times that he has faced Colby. He was called out on strikes in the first, went down swinging in the third. Excuse me, in the fourth. One ball and 1 strike. Colby, as we mentioned, this is one of his favorite places to pitch. Here in Seattle, he's enjoyed a lot of success. 3 hopper out to Elvis. 2 gone.
Oh, talked about Colby's last ball game against Seattle. He pitched 8 innings, gave up 3 hits and 1 run in that game. A home run to Adam Lind. That was it. Didn't walk a batter, struck out 3, only threw 88 pitches. He's pitching a similar game today, only hasn't given up anything. He's only thrown 73 pitches, and that's after a 20-pitch first inning.
Well, here's Stephen Vogt, who twice has flied to left field. Strike 1. Vogt with the average of 272. Odor on to first, and again, a 1-2-3 inning for Colby Lewis through 7. Rangers on top of the A's by a 2-0 count on Fox Sports Southwest. MLB.com at-bat app. You can stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and a lot more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or your tablet. Well, the Rangers come to bat here in the 8th inning, leading 2-0. It'll be the top of the order, and the A's have a new pitcher on the mound. Fernando Rodriguez has come out of the A's bullpen to take over his 27th appearance of the year. Rodriguez from El Paso. He's a 31-year-old right-hander. Saw him also on Monday night. Originally the property of the Angels organization. And Rougned Odor takes inside from the hard-throwing Fernando Rodriguez.
A pretty nice relief job by Ryan Dull. Came in with the bases loaded, 1 out, got 2 strikeouts.
Rougned, a couple of strikeouts and a ground ball to short this afternoon. A bunt, and it is almost perfect. And it is perfect. No, he got him, it said.
Rougned doesn't think so.
Umpire John Hirschbeck. And Rougned said, so, nope, I don't believe he did. And Jeff Bannister is waiting for Steve Buechele to get the word from upstairs.
Well, he didn't tag him, but I'm not sure if Rougned saw that he touched the bag or not.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to have a review of it. Beautiful slide by Rougned to avoid the tag. But it looked like Alonso was diving to try to touch the base. Let's see if he made it. I don't know.
Hard to tell from that angle.
Didn't look like he got there before the tag.
There you go. You can see if he get. No, I think he made it.
Yeah, I think so. If Rougned touched the front of the bag, he did.
Alonso making that headlong dive, and Odor making a headlong dive also. I think Odor got that bag before Alonso made contact with the bag himself.
Yeah, that's one of those, it looks like he beat it, but will they decide it's definitive enough?
Right.
You know, if he called him safe, they definitely couldn't overturn it.
Well, the requisite clear and convincing evidence for Joni, the Rangers' challenge on this one. Clear and convincing evidence to overturn the call. The call on the field was out. And John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, and safe at first. So the call is overturned. Looks back at the replay command center and said, yeah, Odor got there. So Rougned with a bunt single leading off the 8th inning.
Ruling on the field has been overturned.
Rangers getting some good calls on the replays. I mean, fair calls. They're not like they're getting something to go their way, but they've utilized the review process successfully.
Well, for the Rangers, their 5th hit of the afternoon. Odor with his first. Here's Ian Desmond. Ian got that 2-run 7th inning started with an opposite field home run. 1 ball and no strikes. Desmond now 10 home runs, 44 runs driven in. 44 RBI, tops on the Ranger club. Adrian Beltre with 40. The way that Desmond moves this ball around, he's just like having a left-handed hitter up there with the guy at first base. First baseman having to hold the runner, and that opens up that hole. And Ian Desmond very adept at hitting the ball that way. Two balls, no strikes. Now our AT&T high-speed internet replay for you. We'll take you back to the 7th inning. Daniel Mingden trying to sneak that high fastball by Ian Desmond, and Ian was having none of it. Going the other way is 10th home run of the year, and that was the first Ranger run of the ball game. Rangers added on 1 more and have that 2-0 lead as Desmond takes ball 3 upstairs. Fernando Rodriguez, the 3rd pitcher used by Bob Melvin here this afternoon. And ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Desmond. That puts runners at first and second for Nomar Mazara. And before Nomar steps in, let's send it back to Dana Larson for a Chevy game break.
Now batting, number 30, Nomar Mazar.
All right, Dana, thank you. Well, the Mariners snapping their 4-game losing streak with that win this afternoon down at Tampa. Here's Mazzara, who reached on an error last inning. Came around to score the second Ranger run. And he takes ball 1.
7 pitches, 6 balls, only thrown 1 strike. That was the one that Rugi bunted for a base hit.
And you saw Odor out there at second. He's trailed by Ian Desmond at first. Rangers looking to add on some insurance here. Little looper out to short. That's not going to get it done. Well, 1 gone as Mazzara gets jammed. Next will be Adrian Beltre. Zepchinski, left-hander, loosening in that bullpen. Probably looking ahead to Prince Fielder's at bat. Beltre, a couple of hits this afternoon in his return to action. 2 for 3, a pair of singles. Beltre 1 for 7 in past matchups with Rodriguez, and he takes strike 1. The ever-present smile on Adrian's face. Now Adrian's settling back in. Defense at double play depth for the A's. Pulled around a couple of steps to the left. 1-1. Outfield for Oakland, Billy Burns in center field playing unusually shallow. And Beltre, pretty good power that way. If he gets a hold of one, Burns not going to be able to run that down. And I guess Burns figuring one of the 2 options would be play closer, and if there's a base hit to center, he'd have a better chance of throwing out Odor at the plate. Doesn't have a really strong arm. 1-2. Beltre swinging through that pitch. Adrian singled in the second. That was the first Ranger hit of the afternoon. He also singled last inning in the 7th. Time called. Rodriguez doing a little rubbernecking. Checking Odor. Rugden not doing anything to warrant that kind of looks. That ball's driven to right field. That is up the alley and 1 hop off the wall. Odor being waved around. Here comes Desmond right behind him. The throw to the plate is cut off, not in time. And a 2-run double for Adrian Beltre, his 3rd hit of the afternoon. The Rangers lead it 4-0.
Boy, when you're going to hit your doubles, you love to have speed on the bases. And Desmond at first base was just flying around the bases. He scored easily on what looked like a play that they'd be able to hold him to third base. But Adrian gets a high fastball after swinging and missing at a high fastball. This time he didn't miss it. Welcome back, Adrian. Missed 7 games. Glad to have you back. 3 hits, now 2 insurance runs late in the ball game. Desmond went all the way to second base, and he's not stopping. See Spike Owen waving him home.
So that's going to do it for Fernando Rodriguez. He leaves the ball game after just a 1/3 of an inning of work. Leaves trailing 4-0 now. A pitching change underway. We'll be right back on Fox Sports Southwest. games, but he didn't miss a beat when he came back into the lineup. 3 for 4 this afternoon, a huge 2-run double here in the 8th inning. And Mark Zepchinski now out of the A's bullpen, his second appearance in this series, facing Prince Fielder, who fouls off that first pitch. 0-1. Now Zepchinski and Fielder have faced each other a number of times. Prince has gotten the better of Zepchinski, 5 for 10 with a couple of doubles. Hit hard to center field. Burns retreating, still going back. Has to reach up over his head to make the catch. Beltre will tag and jog on over to third. Well, Prince hit that ball squarely.
He sure did. That ball jumped off his bat. I think it fooled Burns a little bit. He had to really sprint to get to that ball. Well hit ball by Prince.
Now that is out number 2 here in the 8th inning with Beltre at third now. Ryan Ruitt will step to the plate. Prince Fielder gets a lot of backspin on the ball when he hits it like that. It's like one of those rising drives. And the A is not going to mess with Ruitt. They're going to go ahead and put him on in favor of the left-handed hitting Mitch Moreland. Nobody in the A's bullpen, so Zepchinski is going to stay in to face Moreland, obviously. Ruitt, who reached when he was hit by a pitch in the 7th, will reach with the intentional walk here in the 8th. And Zepchinski with the 4th white one will put Ruitt on board. So first and third now. Mitch Moreland, who grounded a single into right field last inning. 1 for 3 today.
Now batting, number 18.
And the Rangers doing something in this ball game they've done pretty much on this road trip. Almost every ball game that they've won, they've added on late.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, they didn't score until the 7th inning today for the first time, but they've added 2 more here in the 8th and 2 very important runs. Give Colby Lewis a little bit of a cushion.
Shut out through 6 today, shut out through 5 yesterday.
Yeah. First pitch to Moreland. 1 ball and no strikes. Mitch just 0 for 1 against the A's left-hander, Mark Zepchinski. A's infield, again, not in an extreme overshift with runners on. They play it a little more conventionally, and there's a ground ball through the vacated second base hole. That'll drive Beltre home. Ruitt will go on to third. Mitch Moreland, his second hit of the afternoon, drives in the 5th run for the Rangers. Rangers on top 5-0.
Well, Mitch deserved that one. His first at bat, he hit a 1-hop line shot ground ball, maybe a couple more hops than that, in the hole. And Lowry was playing out in right field somewhere and took a base hit away from him with a shift. This time Mitch hits a ground ball right straight to second base, and Lowry can't get this one. Took one away from him, but Mitch got it back right there for an RBI.
Now, that's not the classic beating the shift, but that's just as effective.
Yeah, it'll work.
So Moreland, a 2-hit afternoon, his 29th RBI on the board here.
And just like yesterday, it does look like the home run, the solo home run, opened up the floodgates, not for a 5-run inning, but for 5 runs over 2 innings anyway.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, yesterday, guys were talking about, I saw Jeff Bannister quoted how the home run that Robinson hit when Sonny Gray had shut the Rangers down for 5 innings just really energized the team. And it's like, okay, hey, this guy's not going to shut us out. Let's get some runs. And today they're shut out through 6. Daniel Mingan was pitching beautifully. And the home run got him going.
Elvis fouls it back, a ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, I think for this team, it doesn't take much to get them going.
No, and probably that's, they're going to do it anyway. But
any little thing can really,
yeah.
Even when we're having struggles. They were yesterday against Gray and today against Mingden too. But just the one little spark.
Yeah,
that's all it takes to start pretty much a wildfire.
Yeah, it's not over yet.
2-2 the count to Elvis. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. Elvis 0 for 3. He has struck out a couple of times and grounded to third. Zepchinski with the set. Little pop foul over the Ranger dugout. Well, the Rangers trying to win today, and again, they lost the first game of this series, just as they have in 6 other series that they've gone on to win. It looks like, barring a late game collapse, they've got a pretty good shot at winning this ball game too, and winning 8 consecutive series.
Yeah, those 4-game series are tough to win.
Yeah, especially when you lose the first one.
Yeah.
Jeff Banish's ball club, after they've lost the first game of a series, lately they are 6-2-1. Now the 3-2. We'll try it again. Mark Zepchinski already forced to throw 15 pitches to get the 1 out that he has in this inning. Left-hander again ready. Moreland on the move. Got him swinging. Well, Elvis strikes out for the 3rd time, but the Rangers score 3 in the 8th. They leave a couple. We are going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Colby Lewis and the Rangers leading the A's 5-0. Colby Lewis this afternoon has been outstanding. He has had pinpoint command. And the couple of balls that were problematic off the bat, Omar Mazzara ran down that Max Muncy drive to right field. And then the bunt by Muncy in a bid for a base hit. And that's as close as the A's have come to getting a base runner, as Colby goes to work here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Facing the middle third of the Oakland order, Danny Valencia.
Still got that slider working.
Well, he does that. Valencia, a strikeout and a pop out to second. Colby Lewis, 77 pitches, 56 strikes, 21 balls. 1-2. Valencia, Davis, and Alonso, the first three A's to face the 36-year-old right-hander from Bakersfield, California. Colby back to the plate. 2-2. Since the first inning, when Colby went to a 3-2 count to both Lowry and Stephen Vogt, he hasn't really been close to 4-ball territory. Got him on the fist. Valencia's had his knuckles knocked off a couple of times today.
Yeah.
One gone.
And he's a hot hitter. Last 14 games, he's hitting .415, and Colby has held him down.
Designated hitter, number 2.
All those sliders kind of set up the swing at that tailing fastball. It's about 8 inches inside. Well, he showed the two balls that I guess you would say were closest to base hits, but that was a simple play for Nomar in right field, and the bunt was almost right back to the mound, and Colby made the play. It's a fairly close play at first base. But with one out in the 8th inning, there hasn't been really anything in the way. The only balls you could kind of say were hit hard were ones that were popped straight up in the air. They hit them solidly. They just got underneath them. But those all came early in the game. After the 2nd inning, there just really hasn't been much in the way of a hard hit ball.
Chris Davis takes high and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, you remember we were talking about Colby getting all the outs in the air through the 5th inning. He only had 1 ground out. Well, now he's got his last 7 outs on the ground.
That's amazing.
It is. Call that a well-rounded pitcher. He can go through different parts of the ball game and get his outs in different fashions.
Yep.
I guess that way he keeps everybody involved. 1-2 to Chris Davis. Davis a pop out to short, a pop out to second. Got him swinging.
Boy, that fastball just set that swing up there. They're swinging at the breeze right now.
Colby Lewis with 4 strikeouts this afternoon, 2 gone here in the 8th. Yonder Alonso coming up.
His last start, he only threw 88 pitches in 8 innings. He's got a pace to do even better than that now.
He's at 84 with 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Yep.
Alonso, a pop out to second, a fly ball to center. Ball 1.
Ball out in left field that no one sees. Now they do.
Well, Ryan Rua going to do the housekeeping out there. Nobody was watching. Nobody could see Ryan throw that ball up there. Yeah. Oh, it dropped out of the sky. 1-0 pitch to Alonso. 2 balls, no strikes. If you're looking as far as shutouts, Colby's last complete game shutout was against these Oakland A's last September. At home. And ball 3 a little bit high.
Fans know that this constitutes a rally the way this game is going.
Ball 4, he lost it. Well, there goes the perfect game opportunity, but that's a small consequence now. First base runner of the game for the Oakland A's comes with 2 outs in the 8th inning against Colby Lewis. A 4-pitch walk to Yonder Alonso.
Number 10, Marcus Semien.
Here's Marcus Semien, who has flied to center and grounded to short. And that slider just off the outside corner for ball 1. Semien, a .240 average as he faces Colby for the 3rd time today. A ball and a strike. Semien 0 for 12 in his career against Colby Lewis. Foul back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Colby retired the first 23 men in a row. Gave up the 2-out walk. Trying to get Semien ahead in the count, 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. For Colby, this is his 15th start here at the Coliseum. Mentioned that career ERA in this ballpark, 2.79. And it's dropping rather rapidly here this afternoon. Still 2-2. That game we talked about last September the 11th of 2015 against Oakland. That was Colby's last complete game victory. Hit pretty well to left field. Rua going back, has a play, leaps up, and makes the catch. Ryan Rua had that measured the whole way out there and made the catch to end the 8th inning. So the walk left stranded. We're going to the 9th. 5-0 Rangers on Fox Sports Southwest.
Very dramatic afternoon for baseball as Colby Lewis and the Rangers try to make a little history here. They will head on to St. Louis after the game here today. It's interleague play, and not a bad guy to have on the mound for the first game of interleague play. It is Cole Hamels, who came from the National League just less than a year ago. Cole Hamels against the St. Louis Cardinals tomorrow. AT&T high-speed internet reminds you the game's at 7. Rangers live at 6:30. Don't forget about Rangers live after this one. Should be awfully exciting, guys.
All right, John, thank you very much. Yeah, it definitely is building. Rangers coming to bat here in the 9th inning. New pitcher on the mound, Daniel Coulombe, who we've seen a couple of times in the series. Out there to face the Rangers here in inning number 9. Coulombe in his 9th appearance of the year. .227 opponent's batting average. Young man has worked just shy of 12 innings. Bobby Wilson, a 2-hopper down to Valencia. That is out number 1. Coulombe gets the first out. Now back to the top of the Ranger order for Rougned Odor.
Number 12.
Rougned
Odor.
Started the Ranger 8th by bunting his way aboard. That was in a 2-0 game at that time. And Odor not only got aboard, but came around to score on Adrian Beltre's 2-run double. Nothing at 1. Odor 1 for 4 this afternoon. Oh, 0-2. Coulomb, you remember, came over from the Los Angeles Dodgers last year. Mid-September acquisition by the A's. Diminutive left-hander. Got pretty good stuff. Right center field. Burns going back, and that ball off the wall. That thing split the difference. Odor not stopping at second. Now he is.
What do you mean he's not stopping?
Yeah, he wasn't when I looked at him.
I thought he was going too.
Odor's second straight hit. That thing carried pretty doggone well out there.
Yeah, Rudy 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts, and then he bunted. Now he doubles.
Ian Desmond.
Right off the bottom of the wall out there in right center field. Whoops. Go back.
Over the Rangers, that's their 8th base hit of the afternoon. Ian Desmond takes a strike. Desmond has walked twice today. 1 for 2 officially. He had that big solo home run that got the scoring started for the Rangers in the 7th inning. Ian now 10 home runs, 44 runs driven in. He chops one toward the hole at short. Long throw, not going to get it. And Desmond legs out an infield single. Another multi-hit game for Ian Desmond, his 29th of the year. And the Rangers have runners at first and second with 1 out for Nomar Mazara.
Number 30, Nomar.
Semien has a strong arm, but Desmond just too much speed going down that line. Beat out the throw. Well, here's Mazara, who is 0 for 4. Nomar has grounded out twice, reached on an error, and popped out.
No.
1 ball, no strikes. Nomar now, seen that batting mark fall all the way down to 296. Way inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Coulomb, the 5th pitcher employed this afternoon by Bob Melvin. Daniel Mengden out of Texas A&M started and acquitted himself very well. He was very strong through 6 innings. Rangers got to him a bit in the 7th.
No.
2-1 to Mazara. Ryan Dull worked 2/3 inning, had a couple of strikeouts. He got out of the bases loaded jam in the 7th with no further damage.
Oh boy.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Rangers 5 runs on 9 hits this afternoon. Only 1 miscue in the game, and that was committed by the Oakland A's. Little chopper foul that led to a run in that 7th inning. Nomar Mazara's ground ball got by Yonder Alonso down at first. And Nomar came around to score the 2nd Ranger run. Way high and tight, almost hit him. Well, 3-2 now to Mazara. Just a little bit inside.
I don't know, that one missed him.
Odor at second, Desmond at first. 1 out here in the 9th inning. We'll try it again on 3-2. Good look at the A's defense. Semien kind of sneaking in behind Odor. 3-2 pitch is looped down the left field line. It is just foul. Well, a mishit cue shot. Nomar Mazara, and he couldn't get that to fall. That's probably what he needed to have fall in to break that 0 for 20 that is in. Then he'll come back and try it again. Coulombe with a new baseball. We'll get back up on top of the hill. A check of the runners, another 3-2 pitch. Slowly hit down the first baseline. Coulombe shovels it out of the glove to get Mazara at first.
Nice play. But all that he had time to do was get it with a glove or his bare hand. He made a very nice play. Got over there and flipped it accurately.
Number 29, Adrian Beltre.
Half a step ahead of Nomar Mazara. So, 2 outs. Odor went on to third and Desmond to second. Here's Adrian Beltre, who is 3 for 4 in his return to the lineup.
He missed 7 games. He came back like he never missed a game. Timing's perfect.
Yeah.
Hasn't had a lot of chances at third base in the game, but he has swung the bat.
1 ball and no strikes. Beltre 2 singles. And then in the 8th inning, a huge 2-run double for insurance. Came around to score that time also. Got an opportunity for more here in the 9th inning. 2-0. Beltre now 2 RBI behind Ian Desmond, the team leader. Beltre with 42. Facing Daniel Coulombe. Two balls and a strike. Right about now, Colby Lewis is sitting on the Ranger bench saying, Adrian, if you're going to get a base hit, let's do it and get it over with. Otherwise, I want to go back out and pitch the 9th inning. 3-1 to Beltre. And talking about the bottom of the 9th inning, Max Muncy, the right fielder, will lead off. Billy Burns will be second. And then Coco Crisp for the A's. Line drive into the glove of Marcus Semien, and Beltre and the Rangers done in the 9th. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We are going to the 9th inning, and Colby Lewis center stage at the Oakland Coliseum, leading 5-0. Colby Lewis and the Rangers on the verge of baseball immortality here this afternoon. That note, and we were all there for the Yu Darvish extravaganza down in Houston. You lost it with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning, gave up a base hit to Marwin Gonzalez to lose the perfect game in the no-hitter. Colby Lewis lost the perfect game with a walk to Yonder Alonso in the 8th inning with 2 outs. He is working a Max Muncy here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And Muncy has come the closest of any Oakland hitter this afternoon to getting a base hit. Fly deep to right field and then tried to bunt his way aboard. That bunt was in the 6th inning. Colby threw him out. And Colby with a count now of 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So, Buzz, you've been in this position a couple of times. When do you start to realize exactly what's going on, and how does it affect you late in the game?
Well, Colby knew what was going on. There's a drive to right field. Mazzara into the corner at the wall. He can't hang on to it. It's off his glove. And into second base is Muncy with what no doubt will be a double. I don't need to answer the question now.
No.
Doggone it. Colby Lewis, 8 innings of no-hit baseball, 7 2/3 innings of perfect baseball. Omar Mazzara gave it everything he had and just got to the wall with the ball at the same time, and it popped out of his glove. And that is the first hit of the afternoon against Colby Lewis.
Okay, went right off the end of his glove.
Had it for just a second. Yeah, didn't even have it for just a second. Well, the first hit of the day came with nobody out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Max Muncy with the double. He is now at second base again. Just that close for Nomar Mazzara. Here's Billy Burns. Elvis going to have to unload in a hurry. He does, just does get Burns at first base.
Nice play. I didn't think he had a chance to get Burns the way Burns gets down the line.
Elvis, plenty of arm when he needs it. One more look at Nomar Mazzara going into the padding.
The thing that made that so difficult is the way it angles back toward home plate as you get down the foul line. You can't really run alongside the wall. You run right into the wall. It was 335 feet down the line. He could have kind of gone right along the side of the wall and not bumped into it and maybe been in better shape. But
here's Coco Crisp, 0 for 3.
Unfortunately, the ball, the glove, and the wall got there at the exact same time.
Yeah, it looked like Mazzara playing just a shade over toward right center. Not just straight away with Muncy up there. A strike to the outer edge, 2-1. Crisp has grounded out twice and fouled out. Colby Lewis just up over 100 pitches now, 104, 70 strikes, 34 balls. Looper into left center. Rua coming on, dives, and he can't come up with it. It's off his glove. Being waved around third is Muncy. He will score into second base. Is Coco Crisp. The A's are on the board. It's 5-1.
Yeah, I hope Ryan's okay. He dove for that ball and hit the ground hard out there in left field.
Like his left hand, his left wrist got smashed up underneath him.
Now batting second baseman, number 8, Jed.
He had the ball in his glove too until his body rolled on the ground. Would have been a great play, but as hard as he hit the ground, he just wasn't able to keep the ball in his glove.
Well, that goes as an RBI double. He's on the board. It's a 4-run Ranger lead at 5-1. Here's Jed Lowry. Strike one. action down in that Ranger bullpen now. Jeff Bannister now focusing on winning this ball game, doing whatever necessary to have that be the outcome. To center field, Ian Desmond drifting back. Out number 2, tagging at second, moving to third is Coco Crisp. 2 huge outs, and Stephen Vogt now coming up. Jed Lowry 0 for 4 today.
Now batting the catcher.
So Colby Lewis came within 4 outs of perfection. Came within 3 outs of a no-hitter and a shutout. And he is on the verge of getting a complete game win, which I know Colby will be more than satisfied with, but I think the rest of us will feel bad for him that didn't get the others. Vogt, couple of fly balls and a ground out. He's down on the count, 0-1. But I will answer the question you asked me, Tom. Colby knew from the 7th inning when the Rangers scored the couple of runs what was going on. Before that, he was really focused on winning the ball game. It was a scoreless game. He was focused on making sure that he held up his part and put up zeros. And then you get a little bit of a lead. You start thinking, you know what? We could have something going.
Yep.
Vogt to left field. Rua there to make the catch, and that is a winner. Colby Lewis, a complete game 2-hitter. Close to baseball perfection, but Colby will take that, his 6th win of the year in 6 decisions, and the Rangers win their 8th consecutive series this afternoon, a 5-1 final as they defeat the Oakland Athletics. And this is a ball club and the Rangers that lost the first 3 games of the year to Oakland, lost the first game of this series to make it a 4 straight losing proposition here in the Coliseum, and have stormed back, literally and figuratively, to win the last 3 of this series and complete the series win. So Colby gets the job done. The only 2 hits, the only run coming in the 9th inning on doubles off the bat of Max Muncy and Coco Crisp to take the immortality away from Colby Lewis for the time being. Max Muncy, a drive to right field that almost stayed in the glove of Nomar Mazara, but not quite. And just that close for Colby Lewis to have a little piece of history in his pocket. But he will take the win. He's 6-0. First time in his career he has begun a season at 6-0. Rangers, the best mark in franchise history at 42-25 after 67 ball games. That is a game better than the previous best. That was in 1996. So this Ranger ball club making history here again this afternoon. Almost had a double dose of history with their record, with Colby Lewis almost completing his quest for perfection and quest for a no-hitter this afternoon, but it was not to be. A crowd of 14,236 who saw it this afternoon will not forget this for quite a while. And let's go down and talk to John Radigan, who has Colby Lewis with him.
Yeah, we got Colby here. Try to put into words how you're feeling right now, Colby.
It sucks. I don't know. They played really well behind me. I put a lot of balls in play and played great defense behind me. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. I think last year I took it through 7 last year against these guys. So yeah, you never know when that kind of stuff's going to come up, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was 7 2/3, perfect. At that point, I don't know how close you are to realizing those things. Were you?
Oh, the first time through the lineup. I mean, going into the 4th inning. I mean, that you haven't walked a guy or anything like that. So. You just try to go out there and continue to make good pitches and let your defense play behind you.
And I think you did make good pitches there in the 9th inning. Sometimes they just get you, right?
No, I mean, I just I'm up with a certain amount of pitches. I mean runs anyway. I just try to keep throwing that fastball down the way. I was pretty successful all day, and kind of got Muncy got it out and around, and Maz tried to put a good catch on it, but is what it is.
Yeah, you look like you were pretty comfortable and relaxed and not freaking out in the dugout. Looked like you had a fairly normal routine going in the dugout.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really worry about what's going to happen. I mean, you just got to go out there and keep doing your job. So that's about it. I do want to say hi to my wife and my family, my mom and dad. They're all probably watching over there at the beach, and the kids had a good time this weekend. I know that, and I got to see some video. So yeah, it was a good time.
It's close to history, man. It was fun.
All right, yeah, it was. Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Colby. Guys, let's get it back up to you.
All right, John, thanks very much. That's one of the most honest assessments you're ever going to hear from a guy after losing a no-hitter in the 9th inning. It sucks. And, Colby, I'm right there with you, big guy. But it was fun watching this here today. We'll be back to the Coliseum with more right after this on Fox Sports Southwest.